the federal government is not able to muster improving not just the quantity of federal police, we're about 350,000 at the moment, of which 150,000, almost half of them, are doing private security for a population of almost 200 million individuals, which is a catastrophe. Are we not going to legislate state policing? Are we going to continue on I call them sentimental arguments, almost banal and futile arguments that, oh, if you legislate state policing, state governors will become too powerful and take advantage of them. I think that is a blind side to this debate. We cannot continue this blind side debate when clearly we don't have the capacity to protect our citizens in the 36 states 24/7. This is clearly, it's not a plateau issue. Here in Lagos, we have cases. Down in Port Harcourt, we have issues. All the way in the Northwest, even though the Boko Haram insurgency has been mitigated. Mitigated means there are still some local government under insurgency control who Nigerian citizens pay taxes to be able to go and farm, to be able to do what they do. So it's still an issue that is raw on the table. The president's speech didn't really speak directly to this. And I believe that if we're ever going to be able to raise our economy, because, one of the reasons why the food insecurity has risen is because farmers were literally have gone through a lot of aggression within the past few years, which made it difficult for them to farm properly and even produce what we need to eat. So I'm laying this squarely at the table of Nigerians. I'm saying that it's not enough for states to create these cores that really do not address the matter. I think we should face it head on, take the bullseye, and legislate state police so that we can immediately support the current Nigerian police force with state police that can begin to address some of these issues. So all security is local. I'm so sorry, but it's such a heartbreaking issue because most times, as long as people are not affected, as long as they're able to do their dirty Decembers, they really don't care that their own fellow citizens, their brothers and sisters, mothers, aunts, and uncles and children are being massacred like chicken in another part of this country.
Oh, let's move on now to get Yusuf Olakunle's thoughts this morning. Let's pick up the copy of the Vanguard newspaper. The headline there, the brain drain, it seems Lagos has found a silver bullet to help us plug that loophole of the drains. But the headline there says, brain drain, Lagos to establish medical university. And that's coming from the stable of the state governor from an event that was organized yesterday, the inauguration of a general hospital somewhere around Surulere. Speak to this. Is this the way to go?
Okay, so the fact that just like we just spoke about the police, that we don't have enough, obviously we don't also have enough in terms of personnel, in terms of competence, in terms of specialty. Sometime in 2016, if I remember very well, we were in a situation that we needed a neurosurgeon in Lagos. And it was then that I realized that there were only two, and two of them were in the employ of the Lagos state government that year. And we were lucky because we knew somebody who was a friend to one of them who called up the person and helped us out of that situation that year. So fast forward to now, the average aspiration of every Nigerian young person, not to talk of just medical students, is to graduate here and leave Nigeria to a greener pasture. Now, the other bit of it also comes to mind that all the medical schools, all the colleges in Nigeria, all the universities in Nigeria put together do not graduate up to 5,000 medical doctors in a year, right? Now, we are 220 million people estimate. The United Nations says one doctor to, I think, 300 people or 400 people. I can't remember the numbers exactly. But in Nigeria today, we have one doctor to about 13 or 15,000 people. I will cross-check and confirm those numbers, but some ridiculous numbers like that. So this idea is a quick fix, right? But then here comes the problem. Where are you going to find the people to train these people when you establish this school? We already said that we don't have enough. In Luth, where they train medical doctors from University of Lagos. In Lasuth, where they train the medical students of Lagos State University. Put the two of them together. How many people do you have there who train these people? Also, don't forget, NUC gives a limit to the number of students you can accommodate based on the available facility to train. How many is in Lasuth? How many is in Luth? Why don't we go to upgrade the facility in those places first and see if we can accommodate more people instead of starting one from afresh? That will take several years for it to reach accreditation level and so on and so forth. It is a good idea to do, but I would rather we upscale the one that already exists in every way and make the end result, make staying here attractive to the prospective graduates.
So, Olakunle, the part I want us to also look at the concept, because you talked about, if you look at it, Lasuth and the other university you mentioned, but this concept of a university solely dedicated to the training of manpower for the medical profession, how does it hit you?
That's why I said that it's a good concept. Today, there are no places where they train nurses. Guess what? In this Lagos, there is a nursing school that used to be on Awolowo Road. What did you do with it? We moved them to somewhere far away and converted the place where they were, that was close to the Lagos General Hospital. We moved them far away to Igodo or something. We moved them from where they were closer to. So those are the kind of incentives that make people don't want to do these things. Are there no places where they train lab technologists today? Let's go to those places. They are already there. Upscale the facilities that are there. If they can only take 50 today, upscale to 200. It's easier to do than to establish a fresh one. You are going to find the land. You are going to build the structure. You are going to find staff. Where are we going to find the staff? The quick fix to this is one of the things that the president mentioned a few days ago, that they want to encourage Nigerian doctors in diaspora to dedicate a little bit of time. How are you going to do that to make it work? So the idea to build a new one and admit 1,000 people, it sounds good. Yes, but there's a problem on ground right now. What are we doing to that one? Before you go to sew a new shirt, the one you have that you are wearing, how neat is it? How presentable is it to be worn? That is the real question we should be addressing. So that's my opinion about it, and I feel very strongly about it that way.
Thank you, Olakunle, for your thoughts. And that's also a reminder to the listener. This time it's freshly pressed on Smooth 98.1 FM. We expect to get your thoughts in relation to the headlines, how they resonate with you this morning. We always welcome them on 0809 4440981. I see a couple of messages or more on the horizon already coming in, so I'll get to them shortly. But related to this Lagos idea of brain drain, addressing it with a special university for medical professionals to churn them out, is this next one where the federal government is coming out with a sledgehammer right now, and it's from the Punch newspaper, and it says here, fake degrees, federal government shuts 18 foreign varsity campuses. Speak to us and then give us a background to how we got here, where it seems all you need to do is go across in 6 weeks, you get a degree and you come back. What's this craze for foreign university degrees, Devoe?
Yes, one of the trending stories at the moment, both on the social and the mainstream media, is about this investigative reports by a daily Nigerian reporter who literally went undercover and bagged a degree from one of the schools in Benin Republic, crossed into Nigeria, and then even got an NYSC posting. Now, the federal government has picked up on this, and to that effect, they've banned the operation of 18 foreign universities. Those 18 include 5 from the US, 6 from the UK, three from Ghana. Just a few of them might be the Volta University College, International University, Missouri, Columbus University, UK. I mean, these are just three out of the 18. Now, in Sidestep, they've also temporarily suspended the accreditation of degrees coming from Benin Republic and Togo. Now, generally, what they've said is that these schools are violating the accreditation laws and regulations in place, and that they've created themselves or they're constituting themselves into degree mills, MILLS. Now, degree mills is just basically they churn out degrees without the commensurate training. And as you know, let's just take, for example, someone who comes out with a bachelor's in business administration, which normally takes 4 years if without strike. How can that person earn and back that same degree in 6 weeks? Now, generally, they operate via study centers and campuses scattered around the country where people, through bogus and dubious means, simply pay their way through just to get these degrees. You said what was the penchant for degrees? Now,
from abroad.
From abroad. Now, the truth is, yes, the foreign nature of these schools give them some level of legitimacy in the eyes of people. But the truth is, if you don't look properly, you won't know that this degree is not worth it. But the point is, the university system or the tertiary system, as well as employers, have a way of confirming where you got your degrees from. That system literally has broken down. And many people have taken advantage of it, like they've done. It's just educational corruption that has taken place and now is being highlighted. Now, the truth is, I would want the Minister of Education to step even further, because this is one out of many educational frauds and crimes that take place, not just within the tertiary system, but you literally have a collapse because of this level of corruption. You have a collapse in the educational system at the primary level, where you go to schools where you're told enroll in this type of school, pay this amount of money, and we'll ensure that your wards or your children pass the common entrance without having issues. That's one level. At the secondary level, you will all know all the corruption and the fraud that takes place both with WIAC, with NEC, with NECO, with the GCE, all the time. Outside that, you also have the exam that the pre-qualification exam that takes place in schools. I mean, this level of corruption is rife. It's not new. It's has been part of our system. It's not just in Nigeria. The degree mills is a global issue. What is required is the Ministry of Education to step up its level of regulation, not just for the students who commit this crime, but for the whole racket involved. That's in terms of who are they conniving with within the system that help them get these degrees or get these enrollments.
So in summary, Devoe, is there a a mechanism between these two countries, or the countries involved now, Benin, Togo, the educational authorities? Is there a way we can get to this and see how they can talk to themselves and make sure they nip it? Because, of course, you know, it's a global village.
Yes.
And education is a right. You can't stop people from going across borders.
At the moment, the DSS, the Federal Ministry of Education, the Federal Foreign Affairs, the Foreign Affairs Ministry are all involved. But I think Nigeria has a role to play in terms of earmarking its own standard, because even if the standards in those countries has dropped, and this is not to say that those countries do not create great graduates, okay, but obviously there are some people who have participated in this level of crime, and they have seen a ready market in Nigeria for people who are willing to pay to get these results. Now, like I said, there are checks and balances, there are regulations in all systems to ensure that those who try and acquire degrees through fraudulent means are checked, are caught, and the systems are completely uprooted. This is necessary because, as some would say, the DG of the NYSC at some point was complaining that there are plenty graduates, in quotes, who come for NYSC who are literally starting illiterates. They can't even write a common application letter for a job. And that is where this ends up, because these people come out with, in quotes, fake degrees, counterfeit degrees, and end up in the what do you call it, or make mockery the productive side of human resource in this country. And you really wonder, were you trained in school? What school did you come out from? Whereas at the end of the day, they simply paid and got a degree without any training.
All right, so let's go over to pick up messages now. I see Ian's message. Ian, thanks for the message. That's an external factor, but thank you so much for sending that message and we appreciate it greatly. Thank you. And then Ojuolakpe Afiz has a message relating to security story we picked up a while ago, and it says, all security is local, but the state governors are against local government autonomy. Don't you think most of the insecurity issues in Nigeria would have been addressed with effective local government administration? Fees thoughts this morning. Ajayi Oloniluwa's message would come up for this, and it says, for Sokoto State to start its own community security guards is another pointer to the urgent need for each state to have its own police. The often branded lame excuse that governors will use state police against political opponents can no longer stand in the face of the continuous brutal killings with the federal police clearly unable to respond appropriately. Ajayi Olonilua from Magodo GRA Sherry's message. Then Tajuddin from Alimosho has a message here. Then it goes, in his view, he says, I do not think establishing a medical school will address the issue of brain drain in the health sector. The government should address the root cause of the medical experts leaving in droves and not this cosmetic approach they're adopting. And next, I find Dimapuza from Surulere. State police is a must for now. If insecurity in the land is to be seriously tackled. With the way Nigerians are being abducted and killed in many parts of the country, local policing must be used. They should know the terrain and the people more than national police. That's Idimapuza's thoughts. I find one from Dan Okuda here. The armor on this bogus university is long overdue. Their certificates are not worth more than the paper they are printed on. Barrister Dan Okuda from Igondo sent us that one. Then I find Cisco Delgado, and it goes for Devoe's attention. What about the degrees like doctorate degree being conferred on people in Nigeria that didn't even see or attend any university in Nigeria? So throw that one into is what Cisco is also asking. Well, a whole lot to pick up, but let's go over now to Olakunle. Olakunle, this next paper, let's see, Okada ban. Governor Sanwo-Olu arrests soldier over violation of traffic law. So it come across as if since the days of BRF, Babatunde Rajapaksa's days, every administration or a new governor comes on board would apprehend an errant or rogue officer going against the law of the state. Speak to us about this.
When I saw the story on social media yesterday, I laughed a little bit, and I'd seen a lot of comments about it. Some criticizing the governor, in my opinion, just for criticizing, saying they just want to find something bad about it. One, let's remove the fact that it was a governor. There is something in our law that allows citizens arrest. That means as a citizen, if I see you doing something wrong, I can hold you down or detain you or hand you over to the police. That is my right as a citizen to arrest you for doing something bad, right? So let's assume then that Babajide Sanwo-Olu only used his right as a citizen, then use the advantage of being governor to effect the arrest. Now, the other bit of the activity of the issue then again is, what exactly is it that is wrong with our people who are supposed to be law enforcement? By and large, whether we like it or not, the military are law enforcement. They are uniformed. They're supposed to be the bastion of discipline. What exactly is wrong with us that we think once we wear a uniform, we are above the law? What exactly is wrong with the rest of us, the people, that we see someone doing something wrong, and because it is to our own advantage, we don't think we should challenge it? That's why you see us in the buses. The driver is driving, either he's overspeeding, he's driving roughly, whatever he's doing, but because it is to our own advantage, because we're in the bus, we're in a hurry to get to where we're going, we're not correcting him, we're not telling him to stop. So there's something in our psyche that we need to get wrong. Some of us argue against that law that says that if you drive one way, then you go to jail. We argue about because the law does not, you cannot punish somebody for a law, because the argument then is that what if he kills somebody? My argument is that it is a traffic offense until he kills somebody. When he kills somebody, it becomes murder, then you try the person for murder. But when you see us, the people, behave the way we do, this argument I just said becomes almost useless. It becomes almost untenable. So you can begin to, so how can we then stop people from doing these things? So you wear a uniform, it gives you the right to drive against traffic, endangering other people. If I was the person who stopped him, he probably would have beaten me and taken me to their barracks for more beating, right? So then the other bit of it then is that I hope that when this soldier, if he's truly a soldier and has been established, is handed over to his formation, I hope that the military formation will not cover it up. He will be properly disciplined. And it's also a note to them, the military authority, to tell their men and officers that they are not above the law. They are supposed to help uphold the law. And you see, again, if you look at where all the military barracks are today, particularly in Lagos, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, those places were out of town places. They were not in the middle of town. Okay, so development has come, we have grown around them. So this is the more reason that they should learn to obey the laws of the land. They have to.
Thank you very much, Olakunle. But Devoe, please do this for us in about less than a minute. Speak on oil matters. As we understand, it's something looming now. NNPCL marketers clash over subsidy. Operators peg petrol at 1,200 naira per liter.
Well, I guess it's for you to understand a bit of maths, right? And what's going on is that was subsidy removed or not? And this story just speaks to the fact that the IPMA, that's Independent Petroleum Marketers, have been pushing for government to reflect the market price of fuel, whereas NNPC has been responding that no, there is full recovery at the 568 or 617 that they sell at. But the marketers are saying, well, since they have licenses to import as well, if you look at the current FX rates, because imported fuel is bought in dollars, that exchange rate moved from 900 to about 1,200 per dollar right now. It is not possible for you to still be importing at that same rate and be selling at 568 or 600 in the market. And in some places in the country, it's sold at 700. So they're saying that only with a cost reflective price, which they figure should be at about 1,200, because generally fuel price in other countries, in Benin Republic, we're aware that fuel prices are between 900 and 1,000, and in Cameroon it's about 1,1. So if you look at that, it's safe to say that the IPMAN, the marketers, are correct. Question is, why is government still giving us a different phase? Yes, maybe they're trying to manage our views in terms of the reaction of people, but I think they should actually state what it actually is, even though they're getting more money, so that we can all take a decision as to what we will do with all the money government is now making with increased revenue.
Thank you. That's where we would drop the anchor on it this morning, freshly pressed. But we say thank you. We see a message from Olabode from Surulere. Please ignore. And he says, how well has the Ministry of Education sustained the standard of education as it relates to schools in Nigeria? Many of our graduates have very poor knowledge about your discipline. Olabode from Surulere. Then comes a message from Ian. It says, Sanwo-Olu did well. I think it was more a show. That's what Ian's thought would be until he sees something pragmatic. Then comes Olakunle's message. Okay, it goes, Cisco, in Nigeria, a stream starts getting dirty from the head of the stream. Who else will obey the law if such is the case? Remember, former Governor Fashola arrested the military personnel who violated traffic laws at CMS those days. Cisco reminds us, and Tayo's message comes in here. Traffic violation is synonymous on Lagos Road. This is the work of last mile, but last, they are in cahoots with the drivers and co. I feel governor's action is mere PR, because how many people can he go after? In no short time, they will let the soldier go with warning. I'm not impressed by it. And Peter, I say thank you so much for your message. Thank you, Olakunle, for your time this morning.
Thank you, Rumas. Thank you, Devoe. Good to see you this year again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Devoe Okorie, for your time.
Merci beaucoup.
And thank you, Lagos, for being part of it. My name is Omatseye. Good morning.